Now, Minderoo, in partnership with the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare, DW Workshop and Waka Moo, is launching an app called Thrive by 5, focusing on early childhood development to assist parents, caregivers and teachers on how to work with kids. Now, to share more on this app is the director of Waka Moo, Munana. Louis, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Nina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this evening?
I am doing well, thank you.
This sounds like a very, very interesting app. Talk to us about this name, Thrive by 5. How did this name come about? And, tell us a bit about this concept.
Well, basically, in the ECD field, this is the early childhood development field. It is believed, and research and studies show that the first 5 years shape the child. The first 5 years are very important for shaping the child in everything when it comes to mental, health, nutrition, everything. So hence the name Thrive by 5. So by the time the child is 5 years old, the child should have thrived already.
What gave rise, to the need to come up with an app, Louis, that assists with early childhood development?
Well, we have a lot of young parents, for example. We have parents who have been around. We have different traditional methods of raising a child. So the idea was just to create something that can be a focal point and a center point for any caregiver of a child to go and pick out activities, pick out learning materials, and just to have access to information about how to nurture and care for a child.
I understand that the app, of course, has been created or designed, for teachers, caregivers, parents, etc., as you mentioned, to make use of. What are some of the activities that come with this app?
So we have activities that connect any caregiver to the child. Talk and play is one of them. Building habits, a healthy home, nutrition, and using the things in our surroundings to play, to teach, and to educate. So those are some of the activities that come to mind.
Of course, when you include teachers, within the individuals that could make use of this app, that involves schools as well. So how would that work? Would it be then part of a curriculum, or is it something that would be used as an extracurricular activity?
It is literally just an aid. It's something that can aid with the teaching, not necessarily to be part of the curriculum, but something that can aid, because the app has done extensive research, combining scientific knowledge, combining knowledge from the streets, combining knowledge from different households, from different countries and so forth, just to come up with the activities. So let's say, for example, there is a teacher that is in a less fortunate environment. The app has activities that can show you that you don't need to have expensive toys to teach. You don't need to have expensive books to teach your children. Here is what you can do. Here is an activity that you can teach that is also educating and growing with using using things in your surroundings, using yourself as a person. Here are the lessons that you can take from and so forth, yeah.
So really practical examples to work with.
Yes.
Does the app only come in English, Louis, or will it come in other languages too? Because if we're talking about, the app applying to teachers that are in less fortunate areas, they mostly speak vernacular.
Well, the beauty of what we do is Thrive by 5 app managed to translate the activities and the entire app in not just English, but the local languages spoken in Namibia as well. So that is something very beautiful, because you don't need to struggle with English. You can literally switch to a language of your choice locally and follow. Plus, there is an audio aid. So you can literally listen instead of reading the things that are on the app. So as you are going through the activities and the lessons and so forth, you can click play, select your language, and listen to the instructions in your language of choice.
And of course, for the app to have come this far, its efficacy must have been tested. So how effective is the app?
Well, the fact that this is something done by Minderoo in partnership with the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty, Eradication and Social Welfare, with the Development Workshop of Namibia, that means there was a lot of consulting done, there was a lot of research done, there was a lot of connecting different ministries just to ensure that the messaging that's on the app is up to the Namibian standards and is factual and very interactive. So yes, there was a lot of advocacy done, there was a lot of consultation, there was a lot of back and forth before the final material was decided to go on the app.
Louis, of course, you have some expectations for the, success of this app, but also how it would contribute to, children between the ages of 0 and 5's educational levels and personal growth. So what are your expectations at the end of the day?
To be honest, for me, as the person who is running the workshop along with my colleagues, the roadshow, to bring awareness of the app into the different communities is that it actually does help, because we've already been to the Orongo region. We were there 2 weeks ago, So that's where we were. We went to Swakopmund and then we went to Omashete. So while we were there, we saw the effectiveness of the app. We saw that there are things that caregivers and parents or anybody caring for a child thought they knew, but the app just aided and enhanced their knowledge. So we saw its power and its effect in play, live, on the ground, and everybody was appreciative. They were grateful. They were very happy to see that there's something that can aid them in caring for their children. So the effectiveness is tested on the ground.
And when can we expect the app to launch, and of course, where will it be available to download?
The app has already launched. You can literally go to your app store or your Play Store and just look for Thrive by 5. That is THRIVE, then the 5, FIVE. So it's on App Store and Play Store. You can just check it out. But for our roadshow, we are literally going to Opuo on Monday. On the 12th of June, we have an activation and a workshop. Just spontaneous 15th of June. And then in July 25th, we have Chivarongo. 27th July, we have Chumkwe.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, Louis, thank you so much for your time this evening, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you so much for your time, Nina.
That was Louis Munana speaking to us about the early childhood development app that they've created as Waka Waka Mu in collaboration with their partners, called Thrive by 5, an app that is meant to aid the development of young children. So as he mentioned, it's available for download. If you're interested, it's for teachers, caregivers, parents. Please do have a look and help your child learn in an interesting and natural manner. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us.